You won't believe what happened to this Gengetone superstar, from topping charts to sleeping on the streets.
Sasa tunikana bro yangu
keje ilifungwa.
Keje ilitingwa.
Maddox from Bundox gang has broken down in tears as he reveals the shocking truth behind his fall from grace.
Mtaani watu wanasema umerudi kwa drugs.
Mtaani? Okay, hiyo ni kweli kwa juu ya situation zenye mimi nilikuwa napitia. Stress, keja, ujui utadishi nini.
And when Bahati found him, what happened next is going to leave you speechless. This is the story that has shaken the entire Kenyan music industry to its core. Just a few hours ago, Bahati was driving through the streets of Nairobi when he spotted a familiar face. But what he saw next broke his heart into a million pieces. The once celebrated Gengetone artist Maddox, who once commanded stages across Kenya, was now a shadow of his former self, struggling to survive on the very streets where his music once played. But that is not all. Wait until you see what happened next, because what Maddox reveals to Bahati during their emotional lunch will shock you to the very soul.
Kuku si mbaya ama fish.
Umekawia kakuku?
Nimekawia kuku ama fish.
It is a regular Friday afternoon. Then Bahati, the award-winning musician, known for his philanthropic heart, was driving through Roysambu area in Nairobi. Having grown up on these very streets himself, Bahati never forgot where he came from. But what he is about to witness will test his emotional strength like never before.
Nimekuwa kwa situation nyingine.
Nikaa imekuwa mbaya
Keja imetinga. Bidi nimetoka Korwe Sakasa. Tunikana bro yangu.
keje ilifungwa.
Keja ilitingwa.
Mko mnalipwa na nani?
Na Gengetone. Cedric yani. Huyo ni the owner, CEO wa Black Market Records. Aka travel kiasi US na manager wangu saa alikuwa yani anishughulikia ile nafaa. Do yangu so siko napata. So keja ikafungwa vitu zikabebwa.
Mbona mtaani watu wanasema umerudi kwa drugs?
Mtaani? Okay, hiyo ni kweli kwa juu ya situation zenye mimi nilikuwa napitia. Stress, keja, ujui utadishi nini, ujui utalala wapi.
Unalalanga hata nje
saa zingine. Juu nikipata bro yangu weekend anaendanga Sunday, inabidi najua vile nitajisort. So pale Sunday nitajisort wapi na sina mabeshi, inabidi nimeenda club yenye mimi nitaenda.
There, sitting on a cold concrete slab, was someone he recognized immediately. Maddox, the same Maddox who had electrified crowds with his hits like Madam and Mboko Haram as part of legendary Bundox gang.
Kula kwanza.
But this wasn't the confident, charismatic performer Kenya had come to love. This was a broken man, his clothes tattered, his eyes hollow with the weight of unimaginable struggles. The shock hit Bahati like a thunderbolt. Here was an artist who had once shared stages with the biggest names in Gengetone, now reduced to begging for his next meal. But what happened next will restore your faith in humanity. Without hesitation, Bahati pulled over, his heart racing with a mixture of shocks, sadness and determination. He knew he had to act fast, and this wasn't just about helping a fellow musician. This was about saving a human soul from the brink of despair. But hold on, you haven't heard the most heartbreaking part yet.
Kuna mokoro anitegemea. Kuna siblings. Na nasikia mimi ni msanii na hata sijaletea hadi shilingi. Hadi wananiuliza, msanii inawana pesa kweli? Sina shanganda waambia aje.
What Maddox revealed about his 3-day hunger strike will bring your tears to your eyes, and the shocking reason behind Bundox gang's breakup that led to his downfall. Stay tuned, because the truth is more devastating than anyone could have ever imagined. As Bahati approached Maddox, the recognition in Maddox's eyes was immediate, but so was the shame. Here was a man who had once performed for thousands, now embarrassed to be seen in such a vulnerable state. But Bahati's response Maddox was pure grace and compassion. "My brother, what happened to you?" Bahati asked, his voice trembling with emotion. And that's when the floodgates opened. Tears began screaming down both their faces as Maddox began to share his painful journey. The story that Maddox told was more heartbreaking than anyone could have prepared for. It turns out after Bundox gang disbanded, with X-Ray and Odiwa Muranga pursuing their solo careers, Maddox was left to carry the weight of the group's legacy alone. But the music industry, as cruel as it can be, had other plans. "Bahati, there are days that I don't eat." For 3 consecutive days, Maddox confessed through his tears. 3 whole days, my brother.
Wazi bro.
Nimeshukuru sana manze kwa kuni help. Imekuwa siku mob manze sijadishi. Niko na umia njaa na give thanks kwa God na God akubless. At least niko na something that jisupport na pia niendelee ku work hard na pia kujituma. Pia niambie wasanii wengine tu watie bidii. God atafungua njia na pia God anatumia watu wenye huko unatarajia. So mimi kitu naweza kuombea God akubless na protect.
Na mimi kitu na kurequest.
God akue na
kitu na kurequest.
Yes.
Jaribu sana upunguze pombe. Wallahi.
Sawa.
Ukisha nini hivyo deal kwanza na mambo ya drunkenness.
Yes.
Next. Mimi hata kulipia studio sio shida. Ni kweli?
Ni kweli.
Wazi All the best. Si at least nimekuleta hadi mtaani.
Kabisa.
Si ndio?
Kabisa.
Haya wazi.
Stomach burns with hunger, but I have no choice but to endure. The pain in his voice was unmistakable, cutting through Bahati's heart like a knife. But that wasn't even the worst part. Maddox also revealed how he had lost his house, sold everything he owned, and watched his dreams crumble before his very eyes. The same hands that once held microphones and commanded crowds were now extended in desperation, hoping for the kindness of strangers. "I used to perform for crowds of thousands," Maddox continued, his voice breaking with each word. "Now I perform for coins on street corners, hoping to earn enough for just one meal. Some days even, that doesn't work." The transformation from superstar to street performer was a fall so dramatic, it seemed almost impossible to believe. As Maddox continued his story, Bahati couldn't hold back his emotion any longer. Tears began flowing freely down his face as he listened for the devastating details of how the music industry had failed one of its most talented artists. But the most shocking revelation was yet to come. Maddox also disclosed how former friends and industry colleagues had turned their backs on him when he needed them the most. People who used to call him brother now cross the street when they see him coming. He said, his voice filled with pain and betrayal. What happened next proves that there are still angels walking among us. Bahati immediately took charge of the situation, declaring that this was barely a week after he had rescued another soul from the streets, but he wasn't going to let compassion fatigue stop him from helping Maddox. "First, we are going to get you a proper meal," Bahati announced. "Then we are going shopping for new clothes and you're going to plan your comeback." The hope that flickered in Maddox's eyes at the moment was priceless. The drive to the restaurant was filled with the revelations. Maddox opened up about how the Gengetone industry had changed, becoming more commercialized and less supportive of struggling artists. "When you're up, everyone wants to be associated with you," he explained. "But when you fall, the same people act like they never knew you." Bahati listened intently, his heart heavy with the realization that Maddox's story wasn't unique. How many other talented artists were suffering in silence, too proud to ask for help or too forgotten to receive it. At the restaurant, as they sat down for what would be Maddox's first proper meal in days, the emotional weight of the situation hit both men simultaneously. Here were two artists, both from humble beginnings, one who had managed to maintain his success and had another who had lost everything despite his incredible talent. After lunch, Bahati kept his promise. They headed to the shopping mall, where Bahati insisted on buying Maddox some new clothes, shoes, and basic necessities. But this wasn't just about material things, it was about restoring dignity and self-worth. As they moved on from store to store, other shoppers began to recognize both artists. Some approached with respect and admiration for Bahati's generosity, while others looked at Maddox with a newfound hope, seeing that even fallen stars could rise again. But that is not all. Wait until you see what happened next, because Bahati's plans for Maddox's future are more ambitious than anyone could have imagined. As their day together came to a close, Bahati made a promise that will change everything. Maddox, this is just the beginning, he declared with unwavering confidence. We are going to work together to get you back on your feet. Your talent hasn't disappeared, you just need the right support system. The plan Bahati outlined was comprehensive and heartwarming. Studio time for new recordings, connection with industry personnel, and ongoing support to ensure that Maddox would never find himself on the street again. The music industry needs artists like you, Bahati emphasized. Gengetone wouldn't be what it is today without Bundox gang contribution. Maddox's gratitude was also overwhelming. I don't know how to thank you, Bahati, he said, his voice choked with emotion. You have given me more than just food and clothes. You have given me hope again. But Bahati's response revealed the true depth of his character. We are all just one bad decision or unfortunate circumstance away from being in each other's position. Today, I help you. Tomorrow, you might be the one helping someone else. That's how we build each other up. This incredible story of compassion, redemption, and hope has already begun inspiring thousands across Kenya and beyond. Bahati's actions remind us that success means nothing if we can't lift each other up, and Maddox's courage to accept help and share his stories show that there is no shame in struggling, only in giving up. As we speak, Maddox is working on a new music project. Close sources have just confirmed. His spirit feels renewed and his talent is ready to shine once again. This is what happens when humanity wins over ego, when love conquers indifferences, and when successful people remember their responsibility to help others climb the same mountains they have already conquered. Don't forget to ring that notification bell, because you won't want to miss what happens next when Maddox releases his comeback single. The journey is just beginning, and you all want to be part of this incredible transformation.